Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome to another episode of Rollin' Solo or Rollin' Cholo, Cholo Rollin' Solo. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm going as. But I am streaming tonight here live with some more Frosthaven preview. There is a Frosthaven demo on Tabletop Simulator, and it was released in conjunction with a mod designer on Tabletop Simulator that I personally, my favorite mod designer, not only because of his taste in games, it runs alongside mine, but yeah, Solo Cholo and Rolo. I'd have to change my name. I know there is someone rolling solo in board gaming doing videos already about solo gaming, and so I guess we're kind of overlapping a little bit, but I do kind of more digital adaptations, so we're still different, right? Um, but anyway, the Frosthaven demo is available on Tabletop Simulator to try out. There is a lot of amazing stuff on it already. I'll just kind of scroll through. If you go to the game setup, you can see there are several scenarios, at least four. I'm not sure what the IC1 and 2 are. I need to look those up. Um, but I know the scenario 116 and 25 are actual Frosthaven demo scenarios that they're using when they go to conferences and things like that to show everybody the new Frosthaven scenarios. There's the Blacksmith and the Bear, which is a new community campaign that Isaac Childres is running, where every so often, I'm not sure if it's every month or every couple of weeks, he'll release a new scenario, and then the community gets to decide what happens next in the story. We played through one of those 10 scenario adventures on tabletop sim or table flipping games, which was really fun. Very different kind of Gloomhaven experience. He definitely says that he experiments a lot, tries a lot of different new things with those scenarios, and I do think that there were some really memorable ones, really cool. And challenging scenarios for sure. And then what I'm taking a look at are um, the Frosthaven puzzles that he is releasing every day uh, until the Frosthaven Kickstarter campaign is over, which is at the end of this month, and it's still going strong, really huge. It does end at the end of this month, so it's kind of something you should definitely check out. Um, if you haven't yet before, I think there is also a way to purchase the original Gloomhaven with it, and I guarantee you, if you buy that, those two together, you'll probably have enough board gaming entertainment for the rest of your life. I mean, it could last you years. I know I've been playing campaign for months and months and years. It seems like they're up to $9,500,000. That's insane on the campaign. So that is what you can get right now up to this week. So don't forget to go and purchase that if you are interested in even trying that. I guarantee you, it's a lot of fun. Um, and then part of the demo, which I wanted to kind of talk about tonight because I forgot to look this up last time. The map. This is the main map. I did look. We had looked at this map when I first showed the preview, but it's an amazing creation, and I wanted to make sure and give credit to the artist because I did. I kept forgetting to mention that whenever I talk about the map, and it's Francesca Berald, who's a freelance map artist and cartographer. She also does other art. But she's from Italy, which is pretty amazing, but just really amazing artwork. I think they've definitely stepped up the game. The scenario tiles are a lot higher quality. And so I'm pretty excited. This is going to be a much bigger production, I think, compared to the first one. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, $9 million. It's going to be a crazy game, that's for sure. Um, so last time when I was doing these previews, I did kind of blow through the first puzzle pretty easily because I'd solved it kind of beforehand, just because I chickened out. And now I'm going to be I took a look at the second. I think the week after that, I took a look at the second puzzle and kind of floundered a little bit. We got introduced to the new class. Why isn't the class on here? Oh, it's down here. Deathwalker class. They kind of atone for the Valoroth's past sins by ensnaring souls of the dead to try to help them find rest. But of course, they're not above using them, using those shadows in order to help them in combat. And so in this scenario, this puzzle, I think I have figured it out. I didn't stop thinking about this after my stream. I was a little disappointed that I couldn't figure it out on the stream, but I felt like I was close. I felt like I was kind of in the right ballpark. And so we're going to be talking about that tonight, that puzzle solution right now. And I do have a VOD up on YouTube for my previous week's videos. So if you missed and you wanted to catch up with the other Gloomhaven puzzles and see me flounder for last week's show on how to figure this out, you can always check those out on YouTube. So here is my dilemma for this puzzle, and we'll kind of go through it really quickly and then see if we can try the new one. I'm a Death Walker. I have 4 cards remaining in my possession. All of the other ones have been burned, I'm assuming. This is the starting map setup, and we've got it set up here. I have 5 hit points, and I'm poisoned, so there's no healing going to help me anytime soon. I'm fighting 2 living spirits and a living doom, which is a new creature that's featured in the upcoming Frosthaven set. Pretty amazing powerhouse. I'm not looking forward to fighting him at all, especially because just like the living spirits, he has 2 shields. Now the regular mob living doom might not. Let's check. Yeah, it doesn't look like the normal creatures. Well, no, they have shield 1, so they don't have quite as much shield compared to the living spirits as they level up. But this guy does have 2 shield because he's an elite. So it's bad. I'm not going to be able to do much damage either. As you take a look at the cards that I have, you'll notice that I can only do maybe 2 attack. If there's some darkness, I can push Forceful Spirits with 3. I can place 2 Shadow tokens, and then I can summon a Shadow Beast. So not a lot of damage. Even the Shadow Beast only does 2 damage himself, so if I brought that guy out, he's not going to hit anybody at all. Unless he were to draw a modifier card that gives me a +1. But as you can see, for a lot of these starting scenarios, all character and monster attack modifier cards are +0. Now, in addition, I also know what's coming up in the next few actions for each creature. I just have to figure out what cards I can play to complete the puzzle, which is to survive for 4 rounds. So I have to make it to the end of the 4th round and live. So, last time, if you remember, I thought I was going on the right path by creating some traps for the living spirits to get them out so that I can only have to worry about the big guy. And I think I did figure out that I was on the right path with this. So I'm going to play Anger of the Dead and Eclipse. And their initiative cards are Sap Strength, which is 22 for the living spirits, and Face of Darkness, which is 82. So I'm definitely going first, which is good. So I'm going to use the top half of Eclipse, which says to place 2 shadow tokens in hexes within range 3. And the nice thing is unlike rifts, or traps or anything like that have to be placed in empty hexes, shadow tokens can be placed even under figures. At least I hope that's true. That's how I read the rules, which came with this little card here. The important thing about shadow tokens is that they can share a hex with any other overlay tile, so I can even put them on water or actually obstacles. And a hex with only a shadow token is still considered empty. So it doesn't affect movements or monster movements or anything like that. So I'm assuming by that right, I can play them on a monster hex, just like I was, unlike rifts with the diviner or traps with the tinkerer, I can place those. Okay, so now that I've placed that, this goes into my no, I'm sorry, this is a lost card. So this was my big dilemma: is should I be playing lost cards with only 4 cards left in my possession? I got to make it 4 rounds. Well, I have to play this to get the shadow tokens out. I'm going to use them a couple of times. Actually, I'm going to use them almost every turn, so I do need to have them out, so it is kind of worth it. Now I'm going to do Anger of the Dead. I'm going to use the bottom of that to wound, and it's going to target all enemies that are occupying a hex with a shadow. If there was an enemy who moved into a hex with a shadow, they also become wounded this round. Whoa, that's not right. So we've got 2 wound tokens, each one going on a living spirit because they're both on shadow tokens. Okay, so that's it for this round. Now the enemies go. Sap strength with the living spirit means that they move -1 and attack -1. So this is going to be where I'm going to push myself close to the edge here. So they can only move 1 space, and then they attack -1. So at the beginning, first up is number 4. He can only move 1 space because his movement's reduced by 1, but he can attack ranged, so he can hit me from where he's at. Two away is their range. But it's an attack -1, and everybody has a modifier of 0, so that means I take 1 damage, but with the poison I take a second. And then he's finished. Now, this guy is not going to want to fight me at disadvantage. So he's... Yeah, so he is... Oh, and I forgot. He also takes his wound at the beginning of his turn. So this guy also, number 5, also takes his wound at the beginning of the turn, moves 1 away from me because he wants to fight without disadvantage, does his range attack on me as well, and causes 2 points of damage just like the other guy. So I'm already on death's door, or at death's door, and I've only got 3 cards left. I technically only have 2 left that I can play. So at this point, looking ahead in their round, I know that the living spirits are going to move and attack. This is a big attack, but I know right now that at the very beginning of their turn, they're going to die because they have wounds. So I can kind of ignore living spirits card. Unfortunately, oh, and you know what? I also forgot to move living spirit too. So he moves -1, which is 2. And here is a dilemma. And this could be like a little bit of a tutorial tip. If you have to move a creature, according to the AI, and you have multiple paths that they could take to try to get to you, what path do you take? Especially if they're all equal, right? So if I moved and I went here, here, and here, that's 3 spaces. If I went here, here, and here, that's 3 spaces. Or I could go here, here, and here. Every space is 1 closer to me, and so it's a valid move. Each of those 3 paths are valid moves. So then the question is, which path do you move? Well, according to the rules of Gloomhaven, you get to pick, right? The players pick. It's not a situation where you have to pick the most dangerous route. You just have to pick whatever route you want. So in that event, I'm going to pick this low path because it puts me at a little bit of a disadvantage, which is legal. It is part of the rules that you can do that. So I'm going to move him down 1 and 2, and he has to stop. He doesn't get to move his full 3 because his action card gives him a move -1. Okay, so now he's done. And now I have to play my cards. I know that I'm ignoring Living Spirit second round because they're going to die. Second round for the big guy is that he is going to summon X normal living spirits, where X is the living doom's current hit points divided by 5 rounded down. So right now, he's going to summon 2 living spirits that are just as terrible as these assholes here. And now I have to worry about 2 more after I just finished killing these ones. So I'm going to try to put the odds in my favor a little bit. I want to go before him, and because he has a 98, and the living spirits have a 78, it doesn't matter what I play, I'm going before... Well, I've got to play the 34, so I go before the living spirits. Not that it really matters that much. Okay, so I go first. I'm going to use the top of Forceful Spirits. I also forgot something else. When I cast my shadows, that put darkness in play. So I just created darkness last round. Man, I'm forgetting all kinds of rules. What's my problem? So I'm going to cast Forceful Spirits, which is going to consume that darkness to do +1. So I'm going to consume the darkness. It's going to do +1 damage, and I only need to be 2 away, which I am right now. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to move him right there, is because he'll be 2 away. And so I'm doing an attack 3, and I draw a modifier of 0, so it does 3 damage. Now he has 2 shields, so only 1 damage goes through, but that's crucial, and you'll see why in just a second. I'm sure you've already figured it out. So I cast that. And I also, as an added measure, I get to push him one space, which is nice. So push works by pushing him one space away from you, so that every space you move him is one away from where it was. So if you have push 2, the first one has to be away from you, the second one has to be away from you. Same with pull, but it's the opposite. So I pushed him one away. Now he's in this corner here. I can't get him any farther away from me right there. So that's the end of that card. Next, I'm going to use, and that's discarded. It's not a lost card. So now I'm going to use the bottom of Sunless Apparition. This lets me teleport to a hex with a shadow. Now, I have the additional option of removing the shadow to perform loot 1 and gain 1 experience, but that's not something I want to do. I want to make sure I don't lose this card, or I don't want to lose the shadows. So I'm going to teleport myself up to this hex, up to this shadow token. And that's the end of that turn for me. Now the enemies go, living spirits have 75, so they're going to go first. They're going to take their last wound and die. Both of them. So they don't get to do their action. Now the living doom, he is summoning X normal spirits, where X is equal to his hit points divided by 5. Now you notice I changed the game here because now that he has 9 hit points, if you divide that by 5, that's only 1.8, which means and then you round that down, so he's only summoning 1. So just that 1 damage made such a huge difference. I'm only going to have to deal with 1 living spirit instead of 2, and I'm safer. It's not safe, but safer than I was. He's going to summon that guy adjacent to him, as close to me as possible. Right there is good. Yeah, as close to me as possible. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just checking. 4, 5. Yeah, technically it would have to be here because this is the closest place possible. So that's his round. He doesn't take any damage when he summons, unfortunately, unlike the cultists or living oozes. I like it better if they're going to summon. I like for them to lose a little hit points in the process if they're going to bring a whole new guy in. Okay, so that's the end of round 2. Now here is where I messed up. This is where I made the crucial mistake. I think I was good here. I'd actually figured out these first 2 rounds. I knew I didn't really think about pushing him and doing the 1 damage. I knew that gave me an advantage of only having 1 living spirit summoned. So I knew it was good. I just didn't know if that was what I was supposed to do. And it was only when I started to realize what I'm supposed to do now in this third round, that I realized what I was missing. So I had a lot of things right, or I was figuring out the correct things to do. I just didn't have them in the right order. And I also needed to figure out what to do during this crucial third round. So, in order to figure out how I thought about this, just like I had for the other rounds. I looked at what's going to happen with the 2 enemy cards, since I know those ahead of time. Well, the living spirit is going to move -1, so in other words, he can only move 1 space. Then he gets an attack +1, which would easily kill me. In addition, he could stun me if he generated frost, which he would have last round, but he died, so they died. So they aren't. So I need to not let this attack happen, and the attack is at range 2, so I have to stay out of range 2. Now, if I stayed right where I was, I kind of thought about this, extrapolated this. He's going to move 1, and then if I literally stayed exactly where I was, then he's out of range. He can't hit me because he's not within 2. So that's kind of nice. So I actually can completely ignore the living spirit as long as I don't get any closer than I am right now. So this is how I'm narrowing down the options for my turn. Now, round 3. What is the Living Doom doing? He's moving +1, which is bad, right? He's going to move a total of 4 this round, which is not good. But his attack is -3, but it doesn't matter if it's only attacking 1 because I only have 1 hit point left. That's all it would take to kill me. So I just have to make sure that I stay completely away from him because he would kill me also. And he's moving 4, so his radius of attack power is much larger. So what I did is I extrapolated, okay, what's the farthest he can move? So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look at that. If I stay exactly where I am, or maybe get a little bit farther back, I could literally avoid both the Living Doom and the Living Spirit that whole round. And so I thought, okay, well, what can I do back where I am? If I do a short rest to get these cards back, what could I do from where I am here to do some damage. And then I realized, well, the only way I'm going to do more than 2 damage is if I had more darkness to consume. And I don't have any way of generating more darkness, so there's no way I'm doing 3 damage with all the cards that I have. So then I thought to myself, what in the world am I going to do? Because I had originally thought I was going to need to long rest the last round just to make it to the end of the 4th round. But then I started to realize, okay, if I don't have to move or do anything, and I know I can't play any cards that actually damage the creatures, then what about? Oh, I could do Anger of the Dead and increase the range. But then I thought I would have to get rid of this card, or I'd have to get rid of my shadows, and then I would be stuck up here in this corner, which is also not good. I want to try to keep the shadows around. So then I thought, what about if I long rest this round? Because they're not going to be able to touch me anyway. So I suddenly realized, oh, maybe this is the key. So I'm in a long rest this round. And then starting with the Living Spirit, I'm going to move him 1. He only gets to move 1 space. So he moves here. That's the shortest distance to me. And then, I mean, I guess I could move him here. Maybe I do need to move him here. 1, 2, 3. And then if I move him here, he's still 3 away. Yeah, so if I have my choice between these 2 paths, here are my 2 options. I can move him here, and he's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 away. And if I move here, he'd be 1, 2, 3 away, right? So I'm going to move him here instead. Even though it seems like I'm kind of just moving in parallel to me, it's actually 1 space closer, just like this space would be. So I'm still following the legal rules. And that's his move. Now he is 2 away. He wouldn't have been able to hit me no matter where he went. So that's why it's a legal move, is because if he can't change the game state, then both moves are equal. So now the Living Doom. He gets to move 4. So, and then if he gets close to me, he can do 1 damage of attack. But he only moves 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't quite make it. So he's out of range of being able to attack me. Thank goodness he's melee. Okay, and then now that I've long rested, I get 2 hit points back, which of course doesn't actually heal me, but takes away my poison. And I get to pick which card I'm going to get rid of. So this is where I need to think ahead a little bit. The only way that I can do really any significant damage is with this Anger of the Dead being able to consume shadows. I just have to make it 1 more round and not die. So this is going to be where I can do any big damage possible. And then I have to decide, with my bottom half of the card, do I want to teleport to a hex with a shadow, or with a Sunless Apparition, or do I want to teleport adjacent to a shadow? That's really the big difference between these two, is that this one lets me teleport somewhere adjacent to a shadow. It's a little bit more powerful, so I think I'm going to keep that card and lose Sunless Apparition. So now we're at the beginning of 4th round. I also need to make sure I go before they do. They have initiative 48 and 60. So no matter what card I play, whichever order, I'm going to go first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to teleport to a hex adjacent to a shadow. I'm going to try to get as far away from that Living Doom as I can, because if I look at his card, I see that he's going to move his normal speed, move plus 0, which is 3. So he is literally going to be able to move 1, 2, 3, and he can hit me if I'm here or here. So I can't be on the shadow space. That's one of the reasons why I didn't take that other card. I have to be adjacent to a shadow so that I'm actually out of range of him. So I'm going to teleport not to a shadow, but adjacent to a shadow, because that's the only movement I can do this round. And so now I'm out of range of the Living Doom, and I just have to deal with this guy, because the Living Spirit is going to move to attack 2, and that's going to kill me, because all he has to do is move up right here, and he can hit me with 2 hit points of damage and kill me. So I got to deal with this Living Shadow. So that's the bottom of Forceful Spirits. That goes into my discard. And now I have the top of Anger of the Dead. Now I attack 2, range 2, and you might have said to yourself, wait a second, you can't do that. But if you look at the smaller text, yeah, the teleport to shadows is cool. If you can get a bunch of those networked all over the place, you could zip around the board and collect money, do some cool stuff with them. So this is also another cool thing you can do with it. So this attack is normally just attack 2, range 2, but if I consume shadows, I not only get extra range, +1 range for each shadow I consume, but I also get +2 attack for each shadow I consume, and you get XP. So I'm going to consume, if I just consume one shadow, I'm doing 4 damage, which isn't too bad, but unfortunately my range is 3. Let's see. 1, 2, is that right? I thought I had to consume them both. Let's just consume them both because this is the end of the whole game anyway. And so I consume both. So now I've got 6 attack and 4 range, which is easily enough to reach him and kill him, so he's dead. And then the final thing that happens is after my turn's done, the Living Doom does get to finish his turn, and he gets to move +0. So 3 movement points. 1, 2, 3. Almost got me, but not quite. Couldn't quite make it. And that is the solution to the puzzle. Now, I promise that I haven't looked up the video even to see if I was right, even when I thought I was right, because I wanted to be able to come on the show tonight and say that I haven't looked at any video solutions for any of the puzzles. Well, I did look at puzzle 1 solution, and I did have the right solution, but I will check the video for this solution tonight and let you know if I messed something up. But I think I've got it. I think I'm following all the rules correctly, and I did survive. So there you go. That's puzzle 2, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and recall all that. All right, got a nice clean. Uh-oh, I didn't put these back. And then delete that. Okay, so it's pretty easy to clean up the board, much easier than physical games for sure, but you know, they're still fun to play with all those components. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up and take a look. We might end up just doing a little bit of a preview of Puzzle 3, although we still have a pretty good amount of time left. And we're going to be taking a look, obviously, at the new character that's going to be featured. And this time we have a Blink Blade, which, if you notice, this guy is another Quattro. Looks like he's got some kind of special remote control pad on his arm, as well as a lightsaber dagger. And so he's quite the techie, just like the Tinkerer was. Thanks, Joe. And so we're going to take a look at him tonight. Though diminutive, Quattrals should never be underestimated. Their intelligence, experience, and raw drive to succeed more than makes up for their size. They will often augment their bodies with machinery and whatever else it takes to get the job done. There are vague whispers that long ago many Quattrals inhabited the northern reaches, hunting for secrets, but now the sight of one in Frosthaven is very rare indeed. The cold is not a forgiving climate for one so small. If a Blinkblade were to travel north, it may be because he has nowhere else to go, or because there is some quarry to be found. Blinkblades are assassins, after all. Equipped with experimental temporal drives, they can alter the flow of time. Whoa. They can alter the flow of time, moving faster than the eye can see and striking harder than a creature 10 times their size. Such actions can only be performed in short bursts, however. There's always a cost to such great power. So it looks like we got a time traveler here with this guy. It looks like he's got starting hit points of 8, so he's not necessarily really tough. And so we're looking at that for the new character. Lots of looks like there might be some cool temporal issues here with this guy. He's a time traveler. Let's read his rules card. There are a few special rules to take note of when playing Blinkblade, who must declare at the start of each round, before card selection or deciding to long rest, whether he is fast or slow. Okay, so before you select any cards or decide to long rest, you have to say whether you're going fast or slow. If fast is declared, the Blinkblade removes 1 counter from this card. If fast cannot be declared, fast cannot be declared if there's no counters present. The Blinkblade must apply all bonuses and penalties to his actions supplied by fast sections of his ability card. He also uses initiative values on the left for the round. Oh my gosh, each card has multiple initiatives. Oh, wow. and different abilities depending on if you're going fast or slow. Or I guess different ability enhancements. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. I've never seen this character before, so I'm pretty excited. That's if you choose fast. First off, you have to have counters present on the card. It looks like there's 2 time counters. Yeah, it looks like you've got 2 time counters on your card to start off with. And so we got to keep that in mind. We've got 2 time counters, so we can go fast twice, basically. If slow is declared, the blink blade gets to add 1 counter to the card if there are less than 2 counters present already. So yeah, once you get to 2, looks like you're capped out. You can't add more than 2. Slow can still be declared even if it doesn't add a counter to the card. The blink blade must apply all bonuses and penalties to his actions specified by the slow sections of his ability cards. Right. So that's just the same as the fast abilities. He also uses initiative values on the right for the round. Okay. The blink blade starts each scenario with 1 counter on this card. While only 2 counters can be accumulated on this card from declaring slow, up to 5 counters can be accumulated through abilities. So by declaring slow, I can cap out at 2, but I can use abilities to go higher than that. Interesting. But in this puzzle, I'm not starting off with 1. It looks like I'm starting off kind of in the middle of the scenario. I've got 2 counters on the card, but I've got these extra ones here if I need to from abilities. Yeah, this guy is crazy. Let's look at the rules, and then we'll take a look at the card options I have. The rules for this puzzle. So this puzzle looks like I got to kill machines. Good. I like going back to killing. I've got to do this in 3 rounds. I've got to destroy these ruined machines, which of course are a new creature for Frosthaven. So we'll be taking a look at them too. It looks like these ruined machines can't be wounded or poisoned, which makes sense. And then they have 6 hit points. The elites have 9. They can move 1. They're pretty slow. And they can attack for 1 for normal and 2 for elites. So that's kind of nice. I only have 3 hit points, though, left. I'm always hurting for hit points. Character and monster attack modifiers are still 0. And I know what their movements are. Looks like they're doing a big attack round 2, normal attack on round 1 and 3. And they can possibly self-destruct if they perform an attack that last round. So I got to stay away from them. Okay. And here's the board setup. We've got me down here, 3 hit points. Big guys, man, there's a lot of hit points here I got to deal in 3 rounds. That's crazy. So here are the cards that I have. Power Leak. Looks like on the top, I do 2 things depending on whether I am going fast or slow. If I'm fast, I can target 2 and poison self. Oh, attack 4. I'm sorry. So no matter what, I get to do attack 4. And the sub ability is if I'm fast, I can target 2 people, but I have to poison myself to do it. That's crazy. Give myself radioactive poisoning. But I get an XP. If I'm slow, I can attack 4 and then just muddle them. Then the bottom half of the card, I can move 2. If I'm fast, I get to move an extra 5. If I'm slow, I get to heal 3, and I affect myself and all adjacent allies. So that might be good to be slow in that regard. Get a little healing in. Kinetic transfer. The next card, I can move 2, and if I'm slow, I have a -2 movement. And then I add frost. If I'm then I attack 2. If I'm fast, I can push and add fire, which is kind of cool. And then move 4. If I'm fast, all adjacent allies and enemies suffer a damage from running into them. Transfer my kinetic energy to them. And if I'm slow, I have -1 movement. I may remove 1 counter to perform push 3, target all adjacent enemies. Wow. So I can remove time counters to do crazy abilities also, like pushing. That's awesome. Okay, so that's the second card. Third card is hit and run. Attack 2, move 2. If I'm going fast, it's a +1 attack and XP. If I'm slow, then I get to move -1. And then the bottom half of the card says on your next 5 attack actions while fast, perform move 3 as the final part of the action. Wow. so I can run after I've attacked. Last card, temporal displacement. If I'm fast, I can move 2, and then I loot 1. If bottom half of the card, if I'm fast, I can move 2 and attack 2. If I'm slow, it's -1 attack. That's crazy that on the top you have a lot of movement for this guy. That's a very different kind of character that has movement on the top. That doesn't really happen. I actually love the movement on the top that I get with the Mind Thief and Scurry, or Juggernaut with the Brute. They're amazing abilities if you can use them correctly, having move on the top of the card and then having your bottom half of your card free to do something else or do more movement. You can move across the board really fast if you have top and bottom movement. Okay, so I got to kill these guys. And I got to decide if I'm going to blast my temporal abilities or not. I have a feeling, because this is 3 rounds, I'm going to have 1 round where I'm going slow. So the trick is going to be, obviously I'm going to do more damage when I'm fast, right? I do more attacks, I do more movement, and sometimes I even do extra damage if I'm moving fast on the bottom. And so, and I also get a disadvantage on attacks and other things when I'm going slow. So I think moving slow is something I probably want to do as little as possible. So I'm thinking that I will be able to maximize my fast actions by doing those 2 rounds and then doing slow movement 1 round. So the trick is going to be, what round do I do that? Huh. And I'm obviously going to survive because I have to be able to kill them all. We'll see. Okay. They're moving 63. So almost all of my cards, if I'm going fast, or all of my cards will beat them if I'm going fast, and if I'm slow, I only have 1 card that I can play. So, just to try out some things. Let's say we're going to move fast. Uh, and I know they're moving only 1. So if I can move back to a position where I'm 2 away or 3 away, I should be good. And I won't take any hits. I have a feeling like this hit and run could be very powerful. So I'm going to play that. But I can't. But maybe not right now because I can't do this attack. The biggest attack I have is this, if I'm power leak, right? Because if I can attack 2 creatures at 4, that's definitely the biggest attack I can do. Um, hmm. Okay. Well, let's try this as a starter. This is going to be a good two-pronged attack here. 1-2 punch. Let's just see how this works. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, Joe. Is this multi-action card? It's a loss. It's basically lost once you play it, because even though you get it still as active, it's out of your hand and you can't use it as one of your actions. So it would take a card out of circulation, which would be bad for the Blink Blade. Even though this is a 3-round, so I have a little more breathing room. This is only 3-round puzzle, but I think I'm going to try to save this and see. Because the problem is that I need to move up to some people to attack them, and then I need to be able to. So the problem is I'm going to be running into these guys, attacking them. Yeah, I think I should be okay. I'm going to take some damage maybe, but it shouldn't be too bad. Let's just see how this goes. Okay, so I declared fast. So I'm going to use the bottom of temporal displacement. So the first thing I get to do, because I'm moving fast, is I get to move 2. So that'll move me up next to these guys. Then I get to do the bottom half of the card, which is attack 2. If it was if I'm moving slowly, which I'm not, I would have a -1 to the attack. So I do two damage to this normal ruined machine. There's the picture of the ruined machines. Look pretty amazing. Looks like they crawl around on their hands, or maybe they float and then the hands just drag. Very cool. And it's also interesting. They have they have immunity to wounding and poison, which doesn't look like I only like poisoning myself apparently as the Blink Blade. Okay, so I moved 2. I attacked 2 on the bottom half of temporal displacement, and I did that to the normal guy here because I'll kind of explain why. Then I get to do power leak, which because I'm fast, I get to target 2, but I have to poison myself. Give myself an XP, but I'm not going to worry about that. Now I do 4 damage to 2 different creatures. So I do 4 damage to him, which kills him. And then I do 4 damage to the elite. And that card is finished. So now they get to go. They don't move. They have move +0, attack +0. So we'll start with the elite. He doesn't need to move, and he attacks +0. He's got an attack of 2, and I'm poisoned. So, I would have taken all 3 damage. I can't do that. Gotta rewind. Already made a mistake. Okay. So see, this is why we try stuff out. Haven't looked at the video of this. Have no idea. I've never seen this character. Very cool character for sure. Already I'm excited about playing this character. Okay, so the problem with doing the big hit is, of course, I'm going to be poisoning myself. So instead, I'm going to do the same fast movement card on the bottom, but I think I'm going to try this out instead. I'm going to do the kinetic transfer. Still lets me attack. It still gives me an initiative that I can beat them with. And so now we're going to try this a little bit differently. So I'm doing the same thing as before, I think. I'm going to move 2. I'm going to do 2 damage in the attack to this first guy. And I am still going fast. I'm going to use the top half of kinetic transfer. Yeah, maybe I want to use this other one instead. Yes, I want to use the other one instead. I'm sorry. hit and run instead. I'm still before them because I'm 41, or I'm 41. Or no, I'm 70. Oh, yeah, I'm 41, so I'm using the left side. So I beat their initiative of 63. So I move up, do 2 damage like normal, and then the top half of this card is attack 2, and if I'm fast, it's +1 attack. And then I get to move 2. So this will actually help me completely avoid damage. So instead of doing the 2 damage to this guy, maybe I'll do the 2 damage to this guy. And then I'll do the next 3 damage to this guy. And then after that, I get to move 2. And because I'm fast and not slow, I don't have any reduction to my movement. Okay, so now it's these guys' turn. They first move 1 and attack 2 for the elite, but he only gets to move 1. And then starting with the order of the regulars, they only get to move 1 each, and they're too far away to attack. Okay. Next round, they are going to do a big attack and immobilize, but then they also suffer damage. Huh. I'm looking at the bottom half of the cards to see what would be better for me. Well, I can go fast again, and let's see how this works. I am going to go fast again, and they have a 42 initiative, so I can easily beat that. I love the fact that you can. There's so much movement with this guy. That's the first thing I love about this guy is just mobile as hell. Okay, so I'm going to do kinetic transfer first. This is the second round. I have a feeling I'm going to run out of rounds before I die. I was worried about death more, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to be moving first. I'm going to use the top half of kinetic transfer. So I'm going to move 2. I'm only going to need to move 1. And then I'm going to attack 2. And that's going to generate fire. Need to get my elemental board out. I'm going to create fire as I'm doing an attack 2. And then I can also push 2 with that. So I'm going to do 2 damage to this guy. And then I'm going to push him 2. And then, because I smashed into him going so fast. Then I'm going to use the bottom. This card gets discarded. Then I'm going to use the bottom half of... Huh. Oh, yeah, I used the top half of that. So this is literally the end of round 2. And I haven't even killed one guy yet. I think I'm going to have to redo this here. So I'm going to move... I move 4, all adjacent allies and enemies suffer 1 damage. Okay, let's do it. That's going to be a lot of damage. 3. That's more than I can take. Maybe. Maybe I decide to go slow this round. So that's going to put a token back on my card. Yeah, let's try this. I'm going to move slow. I am going to move at a -1. So I move 3. And then I can lose a counter to perform push 3. So push this guy back here. Then I now can move, or I can attack 4, just this guy here, and destroy him. And then all of these guys take a damage. They don't move, they just attack and then take a damage. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So now I'm on the 3rd round. I've got to do a short rest. And I absolutely have to figure out how I'm going to kill. Now these last enemies are going to blow themselves up. Which is fine. I have to decide which card I'm going to lose. Oh, I did muddle myself because I was slow. Not that it matters. I only pull zeros out anyway, but I did muddle myself. So it's possible that if I can do... Okay. But the problem is that I also need to... I mean, I can finish this. I can kill these 2 guys up here. But unfortunately, I can't kill this guy. And he would attack me and destroy me. Which would be okay if I had found a way to heal myself first round. Or the second round, let's say. So that's the trick, is that at this point, I think I know how the end game is going to go. I can move 4. So this last round, I can make it to where I can move I can move 4. And then cause a damage to all adjacent allies and enemies. So I could knock these guys down to 4, and then do Power Leak as a fast attack and kill the remaining hit points, 4 hit points on both of them. And so that could eliminate them. Then I would just have to take the hit from this guy who'd blow up, and that would be the end of them. But the problem is that I would not be able to survive that. So I think I'm gonna rewind it back to the first round and see if I can make that work. All I really need to do is give myself a heal at some point and still be able to do that same. Let's see. So this guy, whoop. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this guy goes here, and then this guy goes here. Looks right. Okay, I've got 3 hit points. I've got all these cards in my hand. Okay. I have a feeling that moving slow this first round might not be a bad idea. But the problem is that this Power Leak is such a huge card that, and it's my only means of healing. All right, well, let's try this. Let's try to get this healing in first round. Okay, so we get to go first. 41, yeah, still get to go first. Or 47, I guess. Well, 41, so I'll play that first. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to move 2. Oh, now I know how I can do that. Oh, but I'm going to be... Okay, I just can't use this the first round. Okay. So I'm going to attack 2, or attack 4. Oh, but I'm going slow. So I guess I just use a default movement card. So I just use a default move to move 2. And then I attack 2. This just doesn't seem like as big of a hit to do this right now. So let's keep the same opening move with the attack 4 target 2. Okay, let's go ahead and go with a fast move this first round. So we've got a move 7, which we only need 2 of, really. Man, I wish I could go slow. So I'm wondering if this card is not... Oh no, I don't use I use the bottom half of this card. So I'm going to move fast 2, and then attack 2. So the elite is going to take 2. These guys should be switched. So the elite takes 2. And then I'm going to do 4 damage to both of them. Which is also going to poison me. Oh, but this is just the move I was saying I can't do, right? We already figured this one out earlier. Okay, so I can't do that. Okay, so I can play this one, which does let me... So I still get to do the 2. When I move up to attack. Move to attack 2. And then I'm going to do the attack 3, because I'm fast. And then move 2. And I move down here. And then they all move 1, but can't attack. Okay. I feel like that's got to be one of the best things I can do to start off with. Now maybe I need to do this slow. This is the one where they're all going to take a damage. But if I do the slow and heal 3, I'm just not going to do enough damage, really. Because I'll be doing yet another... Yeah, the tough part really is on this is how do I kill this many guys with... 3 rounds. Because if I math this, I could do 8 points of damage. So if I do 4 points, I can shift 1 over to him. So maybe if I had move 2 and attack 2, and split the damage between these two. So he takes 3 and he takes 2. Now this round, let's see if I can... Oh yeah, this is going to be way easier. Oh no, it's not. Darn it. I was thinking about going fast again is why. If I go fast, I could do an extra damage. All right, well, let's say we go slow, just to see this out. So we would... move 3. Let's say we move 2 and heal 3. I just want to see what happens if I do this. Then that means I can attack 2 or move 2 and attack 2. Well, let's say I move here. Oh, but I can't. Yeah, I can't do. So healing would be fine, except now I don't have the ability. I'm almost thinking the healing is a distraction because the power leak is so powerful. It does so much damage. I've got to make that go off at least twice, right? So if I can do 8 points of damage twice, that's 16. That would take care of 2 of these guys, including the elite, and start some damage on one of these other ones. I mean, it's just the only downside is I have to poison myself. The other downside is I have to try to move close to them. I don't have any range attacks. He's only a melee guy here. So I don't have any range attacks. So I have to use some kind of movement to set those big attacks up. I mean, this first round I would only take 1 damage from each of them. So conceivably what I could do is I could use big movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I could use big movement. Let's test this out. Okay, so I'm going to go first, this first round. I'm going to move 4. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It says I can use a counter to push, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that. I'm just. Oh, I am gonna do 1 damage to each of these guys because of the bottom half of kinetic transfer. Now I'm going to do power leak, which targets 2. It poisons me, which is not good, but it does target 2, attack 4, and so that deals 4 damage to them, which doesn't kill them, but that's okay. So they actually deal me 1 point of damage each. No, that's going to kill me because of my poison. So I can't do that either. So the only way I could realistically kill these guys is if I could do 2 damage on the bottom, which unfortunately I can't do because that card only lets me move 2, which is half of what I need to get to that position. Well, let's try our same. Try this one more time. We're going to move to attack 2. And we are doing fast. And then we're going to attack 2, but it's 3 with the fast attack. And then move 2. And then they all move down 1, but can't attack me. Now this is their big damage round. I don't even want to be anywhere near them. Yeah. All right. Let's see if they go. If I go slow, I get a token back. I'm going to play these 2 cards. So I can only move 3. So I go here, and I push this guy 3 by spending a token. And then I attack 4. Because I'm slow, I'm going to muddle myself. But this is going to kill me because he's going to do 3 damage. So I can't do that either. Yeah, it's hard to tell what to do on this second round because of the fact that on the second round, because I can't do a big hit. It would kill one of these guys, but he's going to die anyway this round. So maybe I should have done... ...3 damage to this guy instead. Or all the damage the first round. Let's say I do all the damage to the first guy. And then instead of going slow, I'm going to actually go fast. No, I got the same problem here. So dividing up the damage between these 2 monsters is the first problem in the first round. And then if I move up here, I can do 1 damage to each of them if I'm moving fast. And then so I can do basically a total of 5 damage. The problem is that's not going to kill one of them. And I need it to kill one of them. Okay, so let's just say for the second round I stay where I am. And I heal 3. Or let's say I move 2. Healing 3. And I attack 2. No, because that's going to immobilize me. So let's just say I stay there and don't do anything for my second round. So these guys all stay where they are, but they lose a hit point. They can't attack me. And I would literally have to kill everything this last round, which I can't really do. So they blow up. They do 4 damage each. Well, I can get hit by 1, but not all of them. So the problem is that second round, if I choose to do nothing, yeah, the hit and run might actually be useful. The trick is when do I do it? Because the first round I would have taken too much damage. Unless I move up. Yeah. So let's say I go back to the start. Just to see one more time if I can make it work with hit and run. Okay. I think that's everything. All right. So I need to try to play hit and run. I could play with kinetic transfer, so let's try that because that will allow me to still get an attack in. So I'm going to play hit and run, which is going to activate it. And so it's activated. Then I do move to attack 2. So I move to... Oh, I guess I could do any kind of attack. Geesh. No. The movement has to come before. Spacing it out. Okay. So this first round, I have to do this one because of the fact that I've got... I don't have any actual movement here until after. So I move to attack 2. I'm going to try hitting the elite. And then the question is did I do this fast? I'm going to say that I did do it fast. Yeah, because I can't do this if I didn't. So I move 2, I attack 2, and I can push this guy. Do I have to push the guy who I attacked, or can I push someone else? Yeah, I did push the guy who I attacked, so it doesn't matter. And I incorporated fire. Okay. So that's the end of the first round. And then I get to move 3 as the final part of my action. So I'm going to move here. And then they all go, so they get to basically move 1. Okay. So now that's the end of round 1. So lost that card. Round 2, I'm going to go before them again. 2, and then okay. So the bottom half of this card is move 2, attack 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2. And then I'm going to attack 4. Oh, then I got to attack 2. So which 2 am I going to attack? That is a good question. I don't know. I'm still going to keep hitting the elite here. Okay, so now I can target... I don't know if I should be working on somebody else or not. I don't know. Okay. So I hit the elite. Now I can do attack 4, target 2, even though it poisons me. Oh, so this is my second fast. Okay. So now I get to target 2 guys for 4. Well, I'll target this guy. And then I'll target this guy. And then as I get to use my move 3. But I'm only going to move back here because they're not moving anywhere. And then all of them just take 1 damage but can't move or attack. Okay. So at this point, I have to do a short rest. And I'm assuming I get to pick my cards again. Oh, night, Joe. I'm almost about to solve this. Let's see. Then I'll be done. I'm kidding. I don't know. I'll solve it tonight. So I definitely want to keep this card. I definitely want to keep. Move to attack 2. Oh, but the problem is now in this last round I have to do a slow. Okay. Which means I won't be able to target 2 of them. And yeah, so I'm kind of stuck. All right. Well, I do think the hit and run added a lot more maneuverability, but maybe I'm not exactly. I think there's something about healing 1 round, maybe because this last action card has to do with getting destroyed and doing 4 damage. I'm thinking that because I have a heal card that does 3 heal, that I could survive 1 hit. That means I could leave 1 alive. But the problem is I can't unless I have another fast token and do a slow move maybe at the beginning, um, which makes it hard for me to attack. I don't think I could do hit and run first. So now we run into a problem of I still don't know. Like I have some ideas of pieces of it. I know that the key is doing power leak at least twice to do 16 points of damage. That's going to be huge. I just have to figure out how to do it. Do I do power leak twice in a row and maybe do a fast rest, a short rest? It's just really hard to know when to do what order yet. So I have some pieces of what I think can work. I just don't have them in the right order. And so that's what I'm kind of looking at here. Just not able to do quite enough damage with the way I'm piecing things together now. So looks like we'll have to give this one a big think too. I am still working on the Gloomhaven digital. I've gotten a couple more, maybe 1 or 2 more levels with the characters. I should be going back to the hideout and trying the boss again very soon, just to see if I can do it. And then once that happens, I've got 4 characters unlocked, and we can go back and take a look at that. Maybe do a puzzle every other episode, plus some digital Gloomhaven, or maybe puzzle for half the show, Gloomhaven digital for the other half. We'll see. Um, so yeah, we'll have to take some time think about this. I really do love this character a lot. It's pretty awesome. The downside is, of course, that I now have instead of 2 options per card, I now have 4 options per card. And so time travel has once again made my life even more complicated. And so now I got to figure out even more of how to do this. So until then, we'll be back this Saturday to continue our Imperial Assault Run campaign. It's been pretty fun, a little chaotic. But if you get a chance to check that out this Saturday, otherwise I'll be here next week doing more Gloomhaven puzzle solving preview. Hopefully got the puzzle figured out by next week. We'll see. All right. Talk to you guys later. Night.